Hello, I'm Clive. I'm using this coronavirus downtime to do a bit of casting practice in my garden. Now, I know a lot of people are interested in Wallis casting, but they seem to give up when they're trying to learn, possibly because of the complexity or because they get tangles, maybe a bit of both. What I'm going to try to do is break down the Wallis cast into very, very simple stages and then build them up so that anyone can, within an hour, cast 10, 15, maybe even further in yards. Any float rod or Avon rod, light ledger rod will do, even a light spinning rod. With a cane rod you might have to mount the centrepin a little bit lower than you would normally do. On a conventional carbon rod or fiberglass rod, the rod fittings might be a lot higher and you'll just have to make do with those. The weight, around about 3/8 of an ounce to half an ounce, that's sort of 12 to 16 grams. I enclose it in a wine cork, just simply because it's easier to see and it also stops it from digging into the ground after a cast. The type of reel has a friction brake or drag. By turning the little wheel further up towards the rim, it loosens the drag. The further down you screw it towards the centre, it increases the drag. And what we're going to do with this is use the drag to stop the line from overrunning. The other thing, as you probably heard, there's a ratchet. We'll take off the ratchet or the check, and we're just going to adjust this reel down so that it's quite stiff. The other thing to show is how the weight is held. It comes out between the index finger and the large finger of my hand, and if you've got a hook length on it, you would want the hook length to be at this side. You'd want the hook length to be at this side, not at this side, so that the hook length doesn't drag across your fingers when you release the lead. While holding the reel, any position that's comfortable. You want to be able to put your thumb on the rim or slow the reel down by whatever means at a later stage, but just hold it where the reel's balanced. So I've adjusted the brake so that when I jiggle the end of the rod, the reel just turns slightly. And that's the setting we're going to start off with for Wallis casting. So holding the weight, as I said, all we're going to do is go through the motions of the early part of the Wallis cast, and that's just to release this lead, and at the same time we're going to swing the rod up. At the moment I'd have it at about 45 degrees. You'll notice when I was casting towards the target, the rod point was a lot lower. You can only do that when you're casting something that hasn't got a trailing hook length. Normally you'd be casting something from about 45 degrees, and you put a little bit of tension on the rod by pulling back on the weight, and then we're just going to release the weight, and when the weight starts to swing forward, lift the rod up or sweep the rod up and then back down again. And if you practice with your thumb on the spool, so as the weight passes under the rod tip, a line drawn from the rod tip to the ground, that's when you would release the spool, like that, with the tension. Yeah. If you practice that 3 or 4 times with the drag on, you're not going to get into any tangles, and you're going to get into the habit of being able to do that, which is the second part of the Wallis cast. That's drawing lines from the reel. Just practice swinging the lead. Just practice the rod movements, the release, the lift and the drop. And then just put your thumb just between the reel and the first ring, and all you do is just give a little bit of a pull downwards as you release the lead, lift the rod, and as the lead passes under the rod top, then you just give a little tug on the line. there we've got just a tiny little bit of overrun, but nothing that's going to cause any problem. And just keep practicing that with the reel brake on. Until you're confident, and there you'll be casting about 4 or 5 yards. I'm just going to let the reel go on its own devices. It's not turning or hardly turning at all. Take off a little bit more tension and do the same again. And then this time, just start the reel with a little pull. Again, not braking, not doing the brake yet. So just practice that and get into the rhythm. So you're doing the same type of speed, if I want of a better word, of the sweep and the pull. So we've just eased off the friction drag, 3 strokes of the little wheel, and we're just going to repeat what we've done before, which is to release the lead, lift the rod, release the reel, the thumb on the rim, and then just give a little tug on the line. In the same way, I'm holding the line in the same way. I'm going to pull the line off the reel, but then I'm going to use this thumb to slow the reel down. And that's stopped. So then you've got no chance of an overrun whatsoever. If you can practice that 2 or 3 times, and it's just a case of stopping the reel just before the lead hits the ground. If you do that, you're not going to have an overrun. If you don't have an overrun, you're not going to tangle. If you don't get a tangle, you won't give up practicing Wallis casting. Okay. And as we've seen, it doesn't matter if you fail to break the drum, if you miss it, because the drum's not going to overrun anyway because of the friction brake. But that's the simple elements of the Wallis cast. The only thing that's not really talked about is this thumb guiding the line. If you just allow the line to look out for itself, it'll go back. If you pull a little bit too hard and the reel spins too fast at the start of the cast, the line will collect it back on itself, and you'll end up with the line going back the wrong way, and that's when you get the nasty tangles and the ones that take about an hour to unpick. If you set up a target zone like I've done over here, then you can practice casting into the virtual swim and test your accuracy. And the reason why I use Wallis cast rather than the side cast, or the pendulum cast, is because with the Wallis cast you're using 2 dimensions. It's just up or down, far or short. When you're doing the side cast, you're introducing another dimension. And with the Wallis cast, if you release the line too soon or too late, the weight just goes up or down, and the cast is either longer or shorter, but it's generally in the right direction. When you do the swing cast, if you release the line sort of too early or too late, it doesn't just go up or down, it also goes left or right, so it can end up anywhere. So the secret to Wallis casting is practice, and also use that little disc brake, the little wheel there, the little milled wheel that acts as a friction on the spool, stops it from overrunning. That'll stop you from getting tangles, and it'll make your learning a lot easier. And don't be afraid to use it when you're fishing, because again it'll make the casting experience a lot more pleasant if you know that you've got the confidence that you're not going to end up in a tangle.